We are going to start with the current electricity, which is our topic for today. We will be of course going in detail with the electric current, conventional current, drift velocity we will be talking about, mobility and current density. To begin with electric current, and we have already discussed with you in the previous class that if I have two conductors, they are joined with the wire, conducting wire, then the charge can flow till both the bodies they obtain the same potential. Common potential we have discussed with you. It is similar to the flow of water. Like water flows from higher level to the lower level, similarly charges they flow from a body at higher potential to a body at lower potential and till the potential is getting the same. So this movement of the current carriers or charges, I can say, will constitute the electric current. And if I want to define electric current in a conductor, of course, across an area which is held perpendicular to the flow of the charges, it is defined as the charge flowing across that area per unit time. So it is charge flowing per unit time. If I am saying in the small time interval delta t, charge which is flowing is delta q, then current it can be written as limit delta t tends to 0 delta q upon delta t. Or simply you can write I it is equals to q upon t, charge flowing per unit time. So when I'm talking about charge flowing per unit time, and the unit you have already studied in class 11 in the fundamental units, the SI units for the current is ampere. And so 1 ampere, if it is asked you to define, you can say that if 1 coulomb of charge is flowing through a conductor for 1 second, then the current flowing through the conductor will be told as 1 ampere. Of course, it has some direction, but still it is a scalar quantity because it is added or subtracted by following the simple methods of algebra. And of course, we will be talking about the current law and by Kirchhoff also in this unit only. So that will further prove that current can be added or subtracted by simple methods of algebra. So it is taken as a scalar quantity. And if you want to write the dimensional formula, of course, M0, L0, T0, A1. And of course, we can use the smaller units like milliamperes, microamperes at different places. We can go with these things. Now, what you see about the different types of current in your day-to-day life, like in your houses, when you are getting the alternating current, AC. AC is shown by the sine curve which is named as D in this diagram, which you are using in your daily life. That is alternating current. Of course, there is a complete unit on alternating current with you. And here in this chapter, we have to basically focus upon the steady current. Steady current means which is not varying with time. Like this is a straight line parallel to the time axis. A option with you, that is showing graphical representation for the steady current which is not varying with time. So the value of current is remaining constant, and you should know where I am using the direct current. Steady current is also known as direct current or DC, and in this chapter our main focus will be on the direct current only. While these B and C curves, they are simply showing you the varying currents, means whose magnitude is changing, or if I have a current for a small duration, that is known as transient current. Transient current we have discussed in the previous chapter, like for lightning, when I am getting, that is a current of short duration. That is your transient current. So in this chapter, our main focus is on the direct current. It means this is a line parallel to the time axis which is not changing with time. So what about the current in conductors when we talk about, if I have, because this so much idea we have from our previous knowledge, that if I have a conductor with me, one is positively charged, one is negatively charged, then electric field is there which is always flowing from positive to negative direction. So if I'm putting the plus q and minus q charges at the ends of the metallic cylinder, then electrons will get drifted because of the electric field. But it will stop after some time. It means the flow will stop after some time. It will not be continuous. And if I want to make the flow continuous, then I have to attach a source. Like if I want the water to go from the lower level to the higher level in a continuous flow, then I have to use a water pump. Similarly, if in a conductor I want the electric current to flow continuously, I have to put a source, and that source here will be your battery, which is a source for the direct current. Of course, we should be knowing that what are the carriers of current in different cases. Like in solids, when we are talking about the metallic conductors, electrons are the current carriers. In semiconductors, of course, semiconductors, there's a complete unit with you, last unit. You will be studying that electrons and holes are the carriers of current. In liquids, positively and negatively charged ions, they carry the current. In ionized gases, again, positively or negatively charged ions are there. If some one marker is coming again, that which is the current carrier in which case, either in solid or in liquid. So you should be able to answer that. Now what it is, like I have shown you the diagram of a conductor. If I have taken a conductor, a cylinder is there, one is positive charge, another is negative charge. I have given the charge by using an external source only. Then what it is, that by convention, if I want to see the direction of current, that is always taken for the positively charges. So positive charges, they always flow towards the negative plate. So this is showing you the direction of the electric current, which is the conventional current. So direction of the conventional current is always from positive to negative by convention, because we think earlier when the internal structure was not studied, then by convention it came that always we take the positive at higher value. But if you see the electrons, they are always moving towards the positive plate. So electrons are moving in a direction opposite to the conventional current. This should be known to you. So electronic current is always in a direction opposite to the conventional current. So two things are there. One is conventional current and other is electronic current. Conventional current is by convention the direction of the positive charges, movement of the positive charges, that gives you the direction of the convention current. So this should be known to you. And of course, electronic current is always in the opposite direction to the conventional current. But whenever we draw any circuit, we always talk about the direction of the conventional current. So by convention, whatever is the direction of the current, that will be taken. But in your mind, you should be knowing that electrons always flow in a direction opposite to the conventional current. We want to talk about the drift velocity and current. Now this is the circuit diagram with you. We have a metallic cylinder, of course, which is connected to a source. Source here is a battery, DC source. Of course, DC source you have studied in your lower class also. It is denoted by a big line and a small line. Bigger line is for positive, small line is showing the negative sign. So positive is on this side. So this is becoming the positive side of the cylinder and this will become negative side. So by convention, the direction of the current is always positive to negative. So it is towards right as it is shown in the diagram also. By convention, this is the direction of the current. But electrons, it means conventional current, you should know it is same in the direction of the electric field. Direction of the conventional current is same as that of the electric field, but electrons, they are moving in a direction opposite to the electric field. Earlier, if there is no source, no potential difference is provided to the two sides, then of course no current will flow. One thing, this should be clear, that charges, they flow only whenever there is a potential difference. And here we are creating the potential difference by using the external source, that is a battery. Battery is a source of direct current. Now what happens that the electrons, they start moving towards the positive side, and while moving they strike with each other, they collide with each other, and during that collision, in between whatever time they get, that is known as relaxation time, denoted by tau. Tau is the symbol for the relaxation time, and that is the time in between the successive collisions. And then electrons, they start moving, and if I calculate the average velocity with which the electrons are drifted towards the positive terminal under the effect of applied electric field, then this average velocity is known as drift velocity. So drift velocity, it is denoted by Vd only, and because it is velocity, so units and dimensions will be same as that of velocity, it means meter per second, and dimensional formula will be m0 L t minus 1. So there should not be any confusion regarding the units and dimensions of drift velocity. Drift velocity, or I may say, if that in a particular direction I am saying, I can write it as drift speed if I want to simply write its magnitude. So average speed or average velocity I need to find, that is given by the velocity of all the electrons divided by the number of electrons, if I have taken n as the number of electrons. Now if v is the velocity for the one electron, then it is given by u plus at. Using first equation of motion, v it is given as u plus at, and here t time is tau1 for the first particle, that is the relaxation time of the first electron. Similarly, I can find for the second electron. And u1, u2, u3 are the initial velocities of the electron when no electric field is applied. So when no electric field is applied, all the electrons, they are at rest. So initial velocities are 0. A is the acceleration. If I suppose, then I can write Vd, it is equals to A tau. Tau is simply taken the relaxation time, average time we have taken, and this A you can calculate from your previous knowledge, acceleration, because we have already spoken to you that your QE, that is equals to F. So F, it is equals to MA. So you can write MA, it is equals to QE. A from here, that is given by QE. Q is, if for the electron, it is E, negative sign. So it can be written as E upon m into tau. So this is the expression with you for the drift speed or drift velocity. And if you want to define the relaxation time, it is the average time interval between two successive collisions of electrons inside a conducting material. So random motion, initially you can see when electric field is applied, then they try to move in a particular direction depending upon the direction of the field applied. And if I want to see that what is happening to the relaxation time, drift velocity is the average velocity we have studied, and so it is proportional to the relaxation time. We have derived the relation, that is E tau upon m. So drift velocity is directly proportional to the relaxation time. So relaxation time will increase when drift velocity increases, because you are giving more time to accelerate between the collisions. So whenever they are doing colliding, random motion is there, they are colliding with each other. So whatever is the relaxation time is simply the time between two successive collisions. We want to derive the relation between the current and the drift velocity. If I take A as the area and N is the number of charges or number of electrons per unit volume, and L as the length, then volume will be given by A into L. You can calculate that. Here we have taken D as this distance where we are talking about. You can take L also, your choice. So volume is AD. So total charge will be equals to NE into AD. And time when I am taking between taken by this charge to move by this distance, that is distance upon velocity, means distance upon drift velocity. So you can calculate the value of current, which is charge upon time. Value of charge is NEAD, and time is D upon drift velocity. So this d will get cancelled and you are left with this expression for the current, which is coming out to be NeaVd, where A is of course area, E is the electronic charge, Vd is the drift velocity, and N is the number of charges per unit volume. So this expression is very, very important, many times asked. Next thing with you is mobility of the charge carriers. Mobility means when the electrons are moving, then drift velocity per unit electric field, that is termed as mobility. Drift velocity per unit electric field, it means Vd divided by E. And of course, this is a property of the conductor. So depending upon the conductor, you will be having the different value of the mobility. Because drift velocity depends upon the electric field, you can write the formula for mobility, which is denoted by mu. It is velocity upon electric field. It is given by Vd upon E. And if you want to find the units, that is coming out to be meter square per volt second. When we talk about the electrons, I can simply write it as mu E. When we will be doing in semiconductors, we will be talking about the hole mobility also, then I will be able to write it as mu H. Holes are simply the vacancies created by the movement of electrons. Next term with you is current density. Current density is the current flowing per unit area of the conductor around that point, which is perpendicular to the direction of flow of current of this. So it is denoted by capital J, which is I, current flowing per unit area. And of course, unit will be your ampere per meter square. And dimensional formula will be M0 L minus 2 T0 A1. If you want to write in vector form, it is given by dot product of J and A. A here is area. J is current density. So being the dot product of two vectors, current is a scalar quantity. This can be further proved that current is a scalar quantity being the dot product of two vector quantities. We want to find the expression for the current density also. Again, this diagram with you, electric field is this, because the direction of the cell you can see is positive sign here, negative here. Electrons will move in the opposite direction. So this expression, again my suppositions, A is the area, L is the length of the conductor. So volume will be into L, N is the number of electrons. So number of electrons, total electrons will be N into A into L. So charge will be multiply this number of electrons with the electronic charge. And when you are connecting with the battery of potential V, then charge is flowing. This much we have already done. Current is Q upon T, which is equals to NeaVd. So current is given by NeaVd and I upon A is current density. So simply divide it by the factor A and you are getting VdA and into the N. So current density is NeVd, where N is the number of electrons per unit volume. So this is the expression with you for the current density. Thank you.